I stopped going to SEO conference.
But in terms of pure lead gen, sometimes it's not the best. It's quite saturated.
I started going to different kind of exhibitions and conferences, so you can actually meet different community and you can expand your network. And also I check who are sponsoring the conference. It's really hard to say no to people.
For lead gen, especially going to the SEO conferences, it's great to network.
You don't really attend conferences. You go to, socializing.
Hey everyone, I'm Samy from Collaborator Pro, a PR distribution marketplace connecting advertisers and publishers. Today I'm receiving Yagmur Simsek, who somehow went from organizing Turkish dinner meetups at restaurants in London to filling Emirates Stadium with more than 300 SEOs. She's an independent SEO consultant, founder of Search and Stuff conferences, keynote speaker at Athens SEO. She's spoken at pretty much every major European SEO event you can think of. She also co-founded a cybersecurity network on the side because apparently one business was not enough. So Yagmur, welcome to the program. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Sam, and the team. It's a pleasure to be in this podcast today.
Thank you. My pleasure. So you've been to most of the conferences, Brighton SEO, ISS Barcelona, SearchY. For agency owners, we have a tight budget and maybe they can only do like 2 to 3 conferences a year. How would they pick, basically? Because there's so many conferences available.
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, and I appreciate that you asked me that because I have some thoughts on that. I think it is actually, it varies depending on which team that the agency is sending to the conference. Like, for example, if your specialists or juniors are going to the conference, or if you as the agency owner or as senior team leaders are joining the conference, I think there is a difference. And there is also a difference on the picking point. It's also different that if you are going there to find your next client, or if you are going there to just build network or just learn more stuff. So I think I kind of categorize conferences in my head based on these kind of angles, and then decide on which conference to go, because some conferences may have kind of foundation talks or like very maybe practical or hands-on agenda, or just leadership talks. And at that point, I check the agenda and the topics and the speakers and their journeys as well, and see if those talks can reflect to my experience and my future goals. And also I check who are sponsoring the conference. That's also important, because I think if you want to network, you also want to see, or if you want to trust the conference, you also want to see who are the names behind the conference. And I think that's the important part. And another one, I would check who else are going from your network, and maybe the previous conference videos to see the vibe or the slides from the previous conferences, and see if that really reflects what you were looking for. Those kind of things I think about it. So I think first define who is going to the conference, and then start checking the conference agenda, the dates, and maybe see if you can make 2 in one trip. So it's kind of, because you're on a tight budget, you may want to combine a couple of conferences in the same or similar area. Like it could be a combo.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So I started going to conferences a few years ago, and I did notice that some conferences, for example, were really amazing for the presentation, for the talks, but then the networking maybe was trash. It was super hard to do any networking. Some other was the opposite. Some the topics were quite basic, so it were great for like junior SEO. And I'm thinking maybe more of ISS Barcelona, for example, which I love. And I think it may be more for juniors. So I do like that. I never thought of it this way fully, but what you said just resonated with me quite a lot. And from your own experience, is there something as when talking with agency owners that they have conferences that come up a lot? Like they have basically everything. Like I don't know, like Brighton SEO, you have lots of good conferences, speakers. The networking is also quite good. Are there any other conferences that come in mind that kind of cover the main aspects like
that? So just I was gonna say like promotional. No, I mean to be fair, Brighton SEO, I've been attending Brighton SEO since I moved to UK like 5-6 years ago, and I can't obviously attend to each of them, but at least once in a year or 2 years, I try to go there because not only for talks, but the crowd that are gathering together, and I'm actually going there for networking from now on and
Yeah.
see my also search friends. And if I want to see, like, if I want to find potential clients or potential client networking and communication, I don't actually. I stopped going to SEO conferences. I'm sorry, this is harsh, but we can't find clients. Like maybe we can, but not like ongoingly or often as expected. Because I started going to different kind of
Yeah.
exhibitions and conferences, like Web Summit or like the other events that can cover different portfolios, different perspectives. In addition to SEO, let's say, like innovation, technology, or other stuff. So you can actually meet different community, and you can expand your network with those. And what else? I mean, I would suggest Web Summit for leaders and seniors for sure. And Right in SEO, of course, Women in Tech SEO. Again, obviously, talks are great, agenda is great, but also the vibe and the community itself and the whole audience. I think that's worth also attending and also sponsoring. And Arish has built amazing community for years, so I could also and obviously our conference. We are quite fresh, but we have been organizing for the last couple of years in Antalya. It's like a boot camp, like search retreats, and you can actually find talks, but also networking opportunities when you stay in the same hotel with the speakers, sponsors, or the attendees. I think it's also a different experience. And we are organizing the one in London, and I think there are a lot of like international search summit in Barcelona. I've been attending that. And also, I know some new conferences are coming. I mean, I've been attending meetups. I think they're also very intimate conversations, meetups, like rather than conferences. So in London, I keep going to meetups, like Search London and also Search Norwich. They're bringing a big conference. A lot of amazing big conferences happening. And I'm glad to be a part of it, basically.
I started.
Wait, I was always gonna forget Athens SEO. I'm going to be speaking there, and another amazing crowd is gonna be there. So I think it works.
What you said about the conferences, I heard that a lot. For lead gen, especially going to the SEO conferences, it's great to network. Usually, can be great to learn new things, see your friends, and all of that. But in terms of pure lead gen, sometimes it's not the best. It's quite saturated. It's not always easy to find new leads there. So I've heard that in the past from other friends saying like they were a bit more technical and they were going like to lots of WordPress or web dev conferences, and they're having lots of success because they were one of the only SEOs there. So that's definitely
that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Like even the paid performance conferences, like if I, as an SEO specialist, if I go to a performance conference, I find like a potential collaboration between me and the paid person, like paid consultant person. It's kind of a win-win situation. We recommend clients to each other, and maybe we take a client together. And it really makes sense to me to also, attend those conferences.
100%. So when I was junior, I didn't realize that, I could connect people, or when I didn't know how to do something, or like, no, I don't know how to do it, I cannot service you. Instead of trying to work with someone that does ads or things like that. So I think it's quite basic in our minds right now, but when you're first starting, like that's a useful tip. Also try to have a network that complements you. Like if you don't know how to do everything, maybe you can still get referral commissions or work together, and then they send you clients back. There's lots of opportunities to collaborate this way.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I think these all came with the experience, right? Like in years we built something and we are now sharing it. So hope someone listen to these kind of podcasts and videos and get some insights. And I wish I was. So.
Same. I wish, but I feel like the new generation is I don't know, more in touch. They're learning faster, and everything with AI now. Everything so fast. Going back just quickly to Search London, I think when you were having, it was like 2 weeks ago, no? We were also having
Yeah.
something in Barcelona here with Natalia and other people here from the group.
I think they. No, actually, we organized a joint meetup with Search London in London. But yeah, people from all over the places came and joined, and it was a really good number of attendance. We were glad that we organized it.
That sounds so fun. I went to the first one. I mean, it was not a real event. It was just us having drinks and talking a bit with Natalia, meeting our friends, and I loved it. And I think there's another one next week. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
organize that. Organize, at least take part in this, because that sounds so fun. Instead of just being, on LinkedIn, like sharing your thing, you actually meet the people, and for me, it stimulates me so much to meet everyone, hear what they're doing and what their ideas are. And plus, you're having a good time with people that are knowledgeable. So if you, like, for the audience here, if you're not going, I was never going, it took me years to go to conferences and meetups. I don't know, I felt like I had nothing to share. You can just go and talk to people. You don't have to be an expert on anything. So you can just go and meet nice people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was always shy, and I was having a bit self-confidence problems when I moved to UK because of my obviously English level, and I wasn't really sure if people would understand me or like talk to me or share stuff with me. But once you kind of break that point, I think people even come to you and they are welcoming you to the community. And I think we are lucky that in Search community we are quite social community. You know what I mean? I don't see this too often in different industries, which I feel like we are lucky. And some of my friends from different backgrounds, they keep telling me, you don't really attend conferences. You go to, socializing and, having conversation with me. I think it could be true, but we are still, sharing experiences and insights, which is great.
Yeah, that's the best balance for me, when you can have a good time and still learn something, share some of your experience, struggle that you're having. And next, I wanted to ask you, so because you run events in both London and Antalya, and you're still doing that, what's the difference between like the European and Turkish conference scene? Is it different crowd, different deals, different vibe? Can it have free tickets? Like, so many questions.
Even if we organized the first couple of conferences in Antalya, it was still global, and I was surprised that the global attendance was global versus local were actually like 50-50, and we received a lot of international speakers and also attendees, but also obviously from Turkey, Istanbul, Izmir, Antalya, Konya, Ankara, all the places from Turkey we have attendance. And what we did was we actually tried to create bridge in between Turkey and Europe and UK, basically, and the global, basically, because not many people are able to travel to overseas because of visa issues or other issues as well. And we wanted to bring something fresh to Turkey as well. But it all started like this, but it turned to a global event. Then we even provided like simultaneous translation because we wanted to give a chance to Turkish speakers to go on a global stage as well. So when it was a simultaneous, so they could speak in Turkish and people could listen to in English. So like from global perspective. So it was kind of a very specific experience for us, and we did do it twice, like last year as well. And this year it's going full global, and because we noticed that Turkish people also don't use headsets to listen English talks, and we are just like paying too much, so we decided to not do this year. But let's see, maybe we will have more sponsors, and then we will provide more opportunities. Anyways, back to the question. Both are global, but I think in London, we will see more global attendance because obviously it is more approachable in terms of the flights and trains. Even the speakers from US, we are having amazing speakers. So I think it's more approachable in terms of the travels and accommodation. And basically I think all audience are global at all conferences, and they're all coming and joining to the conferences to learn more things and meet new people internationally. But yeah, it was a quite experience for me to see both perspectives.
That's so cool, just to organize events, but to be able to organize in different countries and just see the differences. I mean, that sounds fascinating to me. In terms of different vibes, because like London, Antalya, I would be more excited about Turkey. To be honest.
Yeah, because it's like 3 nights accommodation, all settled in the same
That's
hotel.
a bit longer, a bit more. That sounds like probably a bit better to enjoy yourself to there. And have you ever been to Chiang Mai ICO? I've never been there, but I heard, that I think it was just like half of the day, something like that. So you can also enjoy some time off the beach and all of that.
That's great. I mean, I've never been to, but it's also on my list. So I'm also looking to join maybe next year. Fingers crossed. Maybe we get an invitation to speak or attend.
Yeah, I'm more flexible about before I was like, I don't want to be a speaker, it's not for me. And I'm like, wait, you're paying for the flight? And I can speak. I can we can talk about something, we can negotiate.
Yeah, you have no idea how many emails I receive in a day or LinkedIn messages like, oh, Yagmur, are you still looking for speakers for Antalya and London conference? I would love to speak. I was like, yeah, we closed the application in December. I mean, like months ago. But I understand people because I'm also in their shoes as well. Like I look for opportunities. So yeah, but it's really hard to say no to people.
Can you tell me a bit more about that? So like about finding speaking opportunities and how you pick the topics, and also how do you gauge, like do you also do the same analysis for like analyzing the audience you're going to be speaking to be like very strategic about your topic and what you're going to present? Or I was never a speaker, so I'm curious to understand your process.
Yeah, I mean, are you asking from a speaker perspective or from the conference owner and then picking the speakers? I have two hats. So the first one is I'm looking for speaking opportunities, of course. I am applying. But I first check the conference area and because I want to provide like local insights as well. So I kind of try to pick my topics on the obviously the areas I have expertise, or I can show a recent case study, or I can refresh my slides because I don't want to go to the conference with the same slide I attended the previous one. So it's actually important for me. And the second is that obviously I'm looking the benefits they are providing to the speakers because I'm an independent consultant. I don't have a company behind. So it's kind of I'm covering myself, my trips and my accommodation. If any of those are provided, I am quite interested in joining because at least they also show support. And and basically the speakers as well, the lineup, I check if it's diverse, if I will be the only woman or not, or if I will be the only international person. Like sometimes I'm even invited to conferences, unfortunately, that they try to improve the diversity. Like since I'm Turkish and non-native.
Turkish and women? Come on, perfect. Come
here.
Yeah,
exactly.
You want to bring Bengu with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm being honest here. I'm sorry about this transparency. I mean, it's a bit like too much maybe, but I think it is not a good way. And we are not stupid, so we understand why we are invited after I checked the lineup. So maybe it's because I'm a perfect speaker, but I mean I think there are more other speakers really much better than me, like with the more experience and everything. But yeah, I understand, and then I kindly reject them rather than start a discussion or negative vibes. So but yeah, I also check those kind of stuff to see if I'm really invited or so-called invited.
That's so fun. I haven't experienced that in a while, but I used to experience that too. So we have this guy, like, come here. So certain.
I mean, if I already.
I'm sorry. Coming up.
Okay. Now I was just gonna say, if I already applied to speak at that event, it makes more sense, like because I already applied, But if I'm suddenly invited, like last minute or a week ago, or blah blah, it's just like.
That's a bit too red flaggy to me, especially if it's last minute.
Yeah.
So you started sourcing stuff, Turkish dinner meetups, and now you're at Emirates Stadium in the intro. So I'm curious to understand what happened in between. For some people, it's gonna be like, oh my god, everything just went smoothly, and now she's booking this nice venue and all of that. Everything is so smooth, but from my experience, nothing is ever smooth, and you usually have to eat a fair amount of shit before you reach anything. So can you tell me a bit how it went, and like the different maybe stages of search and stuff?
Yeah, of course. So basically, the reason I organized was actually our global community liked Turkish food. So I decided to find modern Turkish restaurants in London and bring people together. And I was actually searching for a name just to call it on the agenda when I was inviting people. I just wanted to write some like headline. I was like, what should I pick, set this as a name? Like search, people are coming together, but we're gonna eat and probably we're not gonna talk about search. And then it was like, then I was like, maybe search and stuff. And there were a few friends with me, and I was like, I think Ozan was with me that day, Ozan Ketenci. He's also a AI specialist. So I was like, Ozan, do you think search and stuff is a good name? He was like, why not? I mean, and I was like, okay, done. And then we started building it. But I organized a few of those dinners, and I thought the people really liked it, getting together, and actually they were looking to connect more during that night. So I thought maybe let's organize a small meetup just once and see the vibe. And then suddenly, actually, sorry, I first tried this as a launch party in Istanbul as a rooftop place, because I wanted to always combine something because under the staff name. So we did like a cocktail workshop plus panel discussion plus like a meetup kind of thing. And then I thought people really loved it. And after that, I wanted to do the same in London. And Anthony from Studio Hug, I mean, thanks to him, he was like, okay, I'm gonna support you to build this together, and then we will, have the first meetup together. Like they wanted to be sponsored the venue, and then we started doing this, and after that, all different people from the industry, they wanted to support us either voluntarily or just spreading the word or financially or motivationally. I think that was the most important part, that I had received support from my network, which is great. It shows me that how valuable people I saved in my life. And so that was the good part. But the bad part was I lost a lot of money within the last 3 years. Not with the meetups that much. I mean, obviously, I was doing this properly. So I was actually buying like merch and stuff, and I was actually doing it from my budget. But then I think with the first conference, I lost a lot of money, and I was like almost saying I shouldn't do this again, otherwise I will go bankrupt. And it was the time that I was working in-house, and I was having a good salary. And after I left in-house and start freelancing, it became hard. So that's why I decided to not do it again, maybe. And then that urge inside, I was like, no, I want to do it again. And then I want to see that excitement. And people kept telling me, think it as a startup. And with startup, there's always like a maybe cost or sunk cost when you start the journey. And maybe after next year, if you still don't make money, or at least can't cover your costs, then start thinking about it. So it started like that, but too many sleepless nights, and because I have freelancers, but not all the time because of my budget. And obviously you have to think about every aspect as the founder, and like even the community management, social media posts, emailings, all the like offline conversations, online conversations. It's a lot, but I love it. So
wow. I mean, if you're passionate about it, like you have to be passionate about it. Like, let me reframe it. You have to be passionate about it to keep going, because as you said, you have to do so many things yourself. Can you share anything about when it started to be, you started to figure it out, we started to be profitable, or because at some point, at least for me, it's like I can struggle for a while. I feel like I'm stuck. And I don't know, at some point, I feel like I can put everything together. The pieces start to, and it just sometimes it just happens like that. So can you share? about that?
I think that was the moment at Antalya conference. After a few meetups we organized in London, those meetups were not for profit, to be honest. It was always to cover the costs and then build a community. Because without that community,
Of course.
like I'm talking about the not only people, but with their email data or their social media follows or their like offline mentions about us. So without building it, I had no chance to build the big conference, because that helped us a lot. But I think that was the moment in the first Antalya conference. There was a moment that the whole big digital screen, which everybody was talking about, like they have never seen that big digital screen at a conference, it just went down with the electric cut and everything. And then I was like, what am I gonna do now? And it's on the first day, not even the second day of the conference. And then there were sponsors at that event, and actually they brought their gifts. I think their agency it was, and they actually had their stand and their gifts draw session, and they were so because they used to organize events as well, so they were so prepared to those kind of crises. And they Tuğçe, I mean, I just want to send my love to Tuğçe. I mean, she was like, she immediately covered the situation, and then she changed the schedule for their gift draw, and she kind of brought people to their stand, so they were not going to be distracted by digital screen while the technicians were doing it. And that was the moment I went to the toilet, and then I was like crying, and then no one did notice it, and I was like, I checked myself on the mirror, and I said, okay, Yagmur, deep breath. You're fine. You're gonna do this. And then I just went back, and then I was like, and then nothing happened. Like no one did say anything wrong, anything negative, or any bad feedback after the conference. And I think that was the moment that people actually respect the community rather than the other stuff. And then my respect also became like how can I say it, like increased for the community, which motivated me to do more. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is a kind of good story to tell my feelings, but I think that was the moment I was really respecting to my community, and like kind of feeling that I love these people and I want to do more for these people, basically.
Oh, I mean, that sounds like a genuine story, and this more or less guarantees success, because you don't give up, you love the people, you're motivated to do something good for them and not just like organizing random stuff. So, wow, that's a really good story.
Thank you. I mean, actually, I have never shared this online at anywhere. I think this is the first time I'm sharing here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And feel free to really share as much as you want, even feelings and all of that. The goal for me for this podcast is to be as authentic as possible. I feel like we already have enough of those. Oh, I scaled my 10x the traffic in a month. So comment traffic in this post to get. We're sick of this. We want the real deal. At least this is what I want. I want to hear the struggle, the successes, how you felt, how you managed to push through. That's what interests me. So thank you for that. Next, I wanted to ask you. Let's say I'm an agency owner. I never sponsored a conference before. What does it actually look like in terms of cost? What do you need to bring? When you need to plan for the additional cost, like the printing, the booth materials, all the goodies that you want to give. Sometimes you don't necessarily realize all the other stuff that has to happen in the back end too, and all the logistic and operation that needs to happen. So also, when is a booth worth it versus just showing up with a badge? I know that sometimes people are like, oh, we're not going to get a booth. We're just going to come and test the water. What do you think about all of that?
So I have a few insights on this. So, for example, at least I can talk about my conference because I know the back side of the story. Because I don't know how the other conferences are dealing it, because I've never been a sponsor to a conference. But the thing is, what we cover in our sponsorship package, for example, we also add like booths, like sponsor stands or booths setup and printing as well in it, including the package price. So actually it gives the potential sponsor to think of, okay, I'm not going to think about anything else. I will just send a design and it will be ready when I'm there. Especially for Antalya conference, it makes sense for global sponsors because they don't know how to deal with things in Turkey and they feel like we are lost. And I kind of covered that for them, but including the package. But if they don't wanna have any stand or whatever, we just deduct that money from there, and we just provide a discount, and they just come and join as a team rather than having a stand. But the thing is, I had two stories without the names, but there were two times that we had sponsor booths and they paid for it, and we built it with the printing companies. But then no one actually was, sitting in their booths or doing like standing in front of their booths, and they were always, the guys were always, or the girls were always like everywhere. And then when people come in wanted to ask something about their brand or platform, there wasn't anyone like around. And I think it's the waste of time and money for them to have a booth, right? So in those kind of situations, I asked the sponsor, do you really need a stand? If you don't need a stand, we can just remove that money and you can just have a discount. And it's also good for us because we don't have to deal with that anyway. So like two sides of the story, it depends on what they want. But yeah, we do the same for London conference as well, and I think that makes sense for us as event organizers to deal with those stuff, because at least we give them an option to to not think about and worry about this stuff. But the other things about considering sponsorships, I think sponsors needs to check the benefits including in the package, like for their team or for their audience, if they can bring more roll-ups or the merch, or those merch can be shared, even the conference seats, or in the visible areas around the conference venue. I think those kind of things are important to check with the organizer, because sometimes there are like tiers, like the hierarchical level, like headline, gold, silver, whatever. It's just like we as organizers give more different chances to different levels of sponsorship.
I mean, that makes sense. But to go also provide feedback on the other direction. 2 years ago, I was working for SiteChecker, and they sent me to a few conferences, and I was super grateful because that was my first conferences overseas, going to San Diego and like one in Vienna, ISS, Brighton, and it was so fun. But so they were just testing the water. We didn't have a booth. We never had a booth when I went there. So I feel like it was great, kind of test the water quickly, but I feel like though doing that long term, we did that a few times, like 5-6 times, it became a waste of money at the end, in my opinion, because the goal was to kind of lead gen and show some brand presence. And, when you don't have a booth, it's also a bit tricky. I was just going everywhere with my cards and going to talk to everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I feel like you need to test it and see, okay, what's your goal at first? Maybe you just want to see how it goes, and then you have a proper strategy. But maybe at some point you might want to test having a booth and see how actually, how many numbers, how many leads you get. Because that's a huge difference. I went with Collaborator to Brighton SEO last year, and it was nonstop talking to leads, literally, all day long, hundreds of leads. So that actually made a big difference, and I just wanted to mention
we met at Brighton SEO with you.
yeah, remember? And you were going for another podcast, I think, with the Dutch or Belgium guys?
With Severin, with Joran, that's true. I mean, that's why. I mean, if you have a team who would be, handling this sponsor booth and everything, I think that makes perfect sense. And I think they should have the visible area, and so that's why we don't even do exhibitors in our conference. We just do go sponsorship, and then we give the exhibition area for only the sponsors, not the additional exhibitors, to improve the visibility.
Yeah. Going back to the conferences and more like from I guess like an attendee. So I guess you sat through hundreds of talks. You've been to so many conferences. So who are the speakers that consistently deliver, and how do you spot which sessions will be worth your time? So you said earlier you're checking the schedule. How do you know basically? Is it because you know the speakers, or sometimes you have any other insights to be able to pick the right sessions? Because when you go to big conferences, sometimes you have like several tracks, and it's like dozens of different things happening, and you're like, where the hell am I going?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not going to share a full list here, because I think there are a lot of people I follow, but and also a lot of people I don't know yet, like I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet. And I think there's a lot going on in the industry. So that's why I don't want to be like, oh, Yagmur as the community manager shared those names, etc. But the thing is, what I check is to listen to either names or their talks. I mean, there are of course names that when I see them on the schedule, I feel like, this talk could be really good. But if I see the same talk title, I don't attend, even if I love them or even if I'm a best friend with them. I feel like, okay, rather than listening to this talk because I already listened a few times, I'm just gonna go and check that other speakers who I never met or listen and on their talks, because I think it makes sense for me to also get new insights and new meet new speakers and know new speakers. So and also with the conference I organized, if he or she or them if they are new, like if they are speaking for the second time at my conference, I always check if the topic is new and if the slides will be fresh and new, and they're not gonna tell the same story at my conference again. So I feel like I need to check these things again and make sure that our audience receive a new slide, a new talk and insights. To be fair, all the applications we received so far were always very unique and new and even considered for 26 insights, like 26 trends. So I appreciate those applications as well. But if you really want me to mention names, I can mention our website has a speaker hub page, where we list all speakers who have spoken at our conferences, meetups, like even the small networking dinners, like we interacted with and we hosted. So we are actually having a hub there, and we are now creating speaker profiles to kind of showcase their work, etc.
And I like that the point that you made regarding having a new deck, new content to present. From my experience, one of the trap, I would say, with especially bigger speakers sometimes is that they're gonna repeat the same presentation over and over across, because they're speaking everywhere. They're not gonna necessarily create a new presentation every time for you, especially if they're not getting paid. So that's really the fact that you're a bit smaller allows you also to control the quality a bit better too, and to be okay, like this is where we're talking about this. No, I want something new. So that's pretty cool. Just to follow up on this, how do you book the best speakers? Like, I understand that you know lots of people and you have relations and friends. Is there also any other way? Do you get intro to what's the way to be able to book speakers? Like, for example, if I wanted to book Aleida and make her come on the podcast here, how would I do it?
I think Aleida is amazing. She's so approachable. Like, if you even send her a message on LinkedIn or email, she's so active. She's always like on it. But if you, to be fair, she also introduced me a lot of speakers. So when I don't know the person I want to reach out to, and if I'm a bit shy as well, or if I need an intro, because sometimes you should also be receiving, and I also receive a lot of emails and a lot of LinkedIn messages. And for example, if Aleida is sending me an email about something, it caught my eyes, and then I kind of opened that email. And that's why, for example, if Aleida introduced me to someone else, I'm sure that those people will also open that email, and then it helps at least to get quick reply. So I think, and also trust, actually, because I feel like Aleida would not recommend anyone if she doesn't trust, right? So I think that's also important. When I mentioned Aleida's name here, but the thing is, it applies same to other people who are very trusted people in the industry and reliable people who I never had a conflict or whatever you call it. So I think it's really important. People also recommend me to some other organizations, but also I kind of, without any shyness, I also aggressively send email to people, and sometimes we open the application and they just apply for it, and I was like, oh my god, this person applied to speak at my conference. Oh my god, I can't believe this. And you know what I mean? And they're like amazing names, and I feel like that's why I think it's good to mention it here, because people think that I myself go and pick the people and then reach out to them. But the thing is, we always want to keep it fair, and we actually pick from the applications, and that's why some people were like talking about our Antalya speaker lineup and the other day. And I don't do this woman man like huge. I mean, of course, I talked about diversity, but I also talk about not women and men. I mean, I'm talking about the international diversity. Like, for example, in our conferences, we don't do like, okay, maybe there is 3 women and 5 men. Maybe we should invite another 4th woman. We don't do that. We actually check the applications and we check topics, and if they are clashing, or if we had that speaker before the same topic, or I mean, there are a lot of things we count in the criteria. So they think like, oh, I just give another chance to another people and I just invite them personally, but they're actually applying, and then we are actually reaching out to the applicants first, and then we reach out to other speakers we want to see as well. So yeah, different parts of the story.
That's the thing that resonated the most with me. Like what you just said right now, it's just like so fresh to hear that. And I kind of have the same perspective that I hate when, I'm all about diversity too. I'm trying to keep things diverse, like in terms of profiles, like parity with men, women. But then some people will push it to the other, like they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna have to have 10 women, 70% of them needs to be like minorities, and then I'm like, guys, that's not the point. Like, and then it just goes into like too much of PC, and the whole idea gets destroyed for me, and that frustrates me a lot. So when I see people doing that in a smart way, it's not going to be just white dudes presenting the things, but at the same time, it's not the main thing that we're looking at. It's really sense.
Exactly, and they don't know the behind the scenes. Like, for example, if you check our application forms, like if you see the percentages wise, there are only 30% women, or not, let's say not like gender, but like gender, nationality, or other demographics. Like there are only a really minor percentage of people are applying, comparing to other part of the story, whoever they are, like whichever they are doing the comparison for. And sometimes we even invite them and we agree with them, and then they just cancel, and then we have to pick another one from our list. So it's kind of not only I was surprised, for example, the number of women who applied to speak in Turkey conference, and I was surprised the number of Turkish people who applied to speak at Antalya Turkey conference. Like 5 people applied, and we received like 75 applications. And can you imagine? And then people are asking me like, oh, I think you should give more chance to, I don't do this. I don't really, I mean, we are a big community, global community, and even if I'm organizing a conference in Turkey, I of course I'm not gonna give advantage to like I don't know. I'd like to be fair, if that makes sense.
And this is why I love. I feel like we have issues finding the right balance. It's either one direction or the other one. People have issues like being like trying in the middle, and I really respect that. I wanted to ask you about networking, and this is going to be my last question before the rapid fire. So I love networking, but so my question is about networking that turns into actual business versus just networking, having drinks and collecting LinkedIn connection, which I also really enjoy. But what's the difference? Do you have any tips to be able to like kind of fully leverage the networking part of it and not just waste your time, basically, or waste your team's time?
This is also something I'm currently working on it, like personally, and also from the community's perspective for search and stuff. So I've been doing this very casually for my personal networking as well. But then I noticed that I'm meeting a lot of people and I'm kind of forgetting it after the conference, even if I take notes, take cards, or get sent emails, etc. So I decided to set up a proper CRM system for my personal networking, just to give a tip to others. And I'm still doing it. I'm in progress. I'm getting help from freelancers because I have a lot of data to bring together. But also for search and stuff community, I'm also thinking to bring a fresh approach to networking. So for example, especially in London and Antalya conference, we don't want to only have drinks and chat. For the Antalya conference, we spare the next day or the full networking day, and we will divide the day into a few different, split the day into a few parts that we can actually have a proper networking session, but then we can kind of convert into a business, potential business in between them. And because I keep hearing people who actually started collaborating after our events, and then they are now doing business together, but they don't, or they forget to share that with me. So I feel like I'm gonna be, after these stories, I'm gonna share those first of all, and then I will also try to do reverse engineering, how this happened, and learn from them, about what kind of communication they have done after the conference, and then kind of provide a guideline for those who attend the conference. Okay, this is your guide to have a proper networking at this conference, because this has happened before you, and something like that. So I think it's still in progress. I keep learning, and it's just depends on everyone's conversation, basically.
I'm not sure I got it the way you're doing it. You said you had a full day for networking with a pause in mid time. Do you do activities? It's not just drinks. I'm not. Can you give more details about how you do it?
On the Antalya conference, on the second day, we decided to have 3-4 sessions. For example, we will collaborate with agencies or our partners or sponsors or individuals on setting up a specific roundtable or specific, let's say, beachside networking for, let's say, I'm just giving the cliche about AI enthusiasts or whatever, I'm just gonna call it, in a very niche topic afterwards. But then obviously I don't want to give some because I talk too much, I don't want to give any clues or so and then we decided to do awards night at the Antalya conference, and this is already announced, and all day would be roundtables, networking activities, and then at the end of the day, they will be also meeting at awards night, and then they will continue their conversations in there as well. But a lot of things going on at the moment, and hopefully we will manage to announce them properly and clearly in the next coming weeks.
So, by the way, for Antalya,
sorry, I was just avoiding to give a spoiler. That's why I was a bit
fine. There was nothing because of that. By the way, for Antalya, is there anything we can mention in terms of making some promotion for you? Is there anything you want to mention for audience or?
Yeah, I will give your audience a special discount. So if they want to join us, they can always ask me questions and use the conference links to use that promo code. And honestly, we are looking after our attendees and sponsors and speakers. So they can just come and speak to me, and I'm always available online.
Yeah, I just want to say that if I'm not wrong, it's a all-inclusive 5-star hotel situation. So
it's all tickets include all. Yeah, I mean, all tickets include not all, but there's also access-only tickets, but other tickets include accommodation at 3 nights, all inclusive 5-star hotel, including the conference and awards night attendance as well. So I just try to organize a conference that I would always love to go. So and actually this is bad because I can't really enjoy the because I will be stressed.
Yeah, that's the thing though. You can't
Yeah, exactly. But still, it's nice to see people enjoy the conference, so which is good.
Yeah, I mean, Antalya sounds great. Plus, you got some great sponsors too this year. I saw that you already had Condor with Mark Williams Cook, White Press, Advanced Web Ranking.
For the London conference, and for Antalya, we are still looking for sponsors. So if anyone wants to join us globally, we are open to discussions and flexible as well.
Awesome. If anyone hears that and wants an intro to Yagmur, feel free to DM me in case you're not connected with her yet. And now, time for the rapid fire. I need some table effect. So, quick questions. If you want to answer them quickly, that's quite fine. No need to elaborate too much. I feel like
Okay.
the first question now, kind of a duplicate, but well, it's fine. I won't think about it. So one conference every agency owner should go to at least once.
Social stuff. Sorry.
I was feeling this coming. All right. The biggest waste of money you've seen at a conference booth, besides the one that you mentioned, like not being at the booth itself.
Yeah, I think the big screens and other stuff, I think people are important. Like people who you actually communicate at the stands are important. I think it doesn't have to be like too big and shiny and, yeah, it's a waste of money.
Focus on the people, the pitch, not shiny, not
Yeah.
the makeup. Your biggest fail organizing an event and what it taught you.
I think I already mentioned this as well. The big screen went down, and I think that was a fail for sure. But then we covered it. So.
The best European city to combine a conference with a few days off.
Ooh, I think we will see it at Athens SEO this year. Last year I was thinking it's a good idea to go to Athens this year, and then I can combine it with a extended trip and holiday.
I'm on the website now. I'll be looking at it. Speakers sound good. Yeah. Oh, Bengu is speaking too. You're speaking too.
Yeah.
Everyone's speaking. Yeah. Well, I might grab a flight there too. Then. Is there one talk you attended that generally changed the way you work?
I did talks in the past, but because when I was first in the industry and I was junior, and Alida's talks were quite like actionable for me because she has got really great formats and templates, so it was really helping me to kind of organize my mind and kind of use it for my own purposes.
That's the thing for me to bounce back what you said. I feel like most presentation I've been to, they're really not actionable. They just talk about concept, ideas and stuff. I'm like, but what am I going to do with this? Like, how can I transform this?
We need like clear framework, right? Like
yes. Yeah. And not opinions and experimentation.
Exactly.
Because it's fine, you have opinions. I have some opinions too, but we don't really care about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Last one. If Brighton SEO said, pick any topic you want, what would you pitch for 2026? I
think obviously not the exact title, but I think I would love to speak about lessons learned from building a community from scratch and a brand image, basically. So that I could share my own experiences, like from the real perspective, and give others some ideas, honest ideas, let's say. Yeah, exactly. Inspire. Like that's the thing. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you can do the things on your own, but then when you actually talk about it, when you're confident enough to be out there, you might inspire other people to do things too, and that's when it becomes like super fun and exciting. Exactly. And it's not just about you anymore. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, I'm coming at the end. Thank you so much, Yagmur. That was so fun. Where can people find you, follow you? Can you share your socials with us? Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and my Instagram is open to public. And they can email me at yagmur@searchandstuff.co.uk. I'm always active on LinkedIn messages as well. Feel free to message me on LinkedIn. And we have a contact form page on our website too. It also drops into my email box, so feel free to contact me from there as well. And just to clarify for London's and Antalya, do you still have tickets from London and you're looking for sponsors for Antalya, right? What's the situation with we have tickets available. I think 45% of tickets being sold for London, so we still have tickets. And for Antalya as well, I think 50% was sold. And obviously, we are looking for attendees and also sponsors, not speakers this year. Next year, yes, but this year is full. So yeah, feel free to contact me if you need any advice or information. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll probably reach out for Antalya next year. Okay. Thanks again, Yagmur. And for everyone listening, I hope you enjoyed and found value in this conversation. If you did, please give us a like, subscribe, and provide your feedback. Also, if you didn't like stuff, please share your feedback and let me know how we can improve. And also check out Collaborator Pro. We are a PR distribution marketplace connecting advertisers and publishers. We're also going to go to a few events this year. Unfortunately, not Search and Stuff this year. But check out the conferences where we'll be heading and maybe you'll be able to meet us there. Thanks again for your time, Yagmur. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.